Live from Thornbury Creek at Oneida, this is Locker Room with Burke Griffin and George Kuntz. Tonight's program is sponsored by the Oneida Nation. And now your host, Local 5 Sports Director, Burke Griffin.
Well, good evening and welcome to another edition of Locker Room, live right here at Thornbury Creek at Oneida Golf Course, our new home for this season. Well, the Packers are 3-0 for the first time in 4 years, and they're one of 5 teams left unbeaten in the NFC at this point of the season. They've got a very short work week with the Philadelphia Eagles coming to Titletown Thursday night. We'll talk more about that with Packers quarterback Tim Boyle, but first, let's hear it for the co-host of the show, former Packer linebacker and Super Bowl champ with the green and gold, George Kuntz. What's up, buddy?
Good to see you.
If you follow the way we promote the show, we did call a little bit of an audible.
We had to.
But we'll get Aaron Jones on the show.
Life is full of changes.
All the time.
But this young man that's coming up is unbelievable.
Well, and we had him on at the beginning of the season,
yes.
And you can see why the Packers coaching staff, forget about the on-the-field stuff, the intangibles that he has.
He's smart, he's intelligent, he's going to be a great administrator, not only if he wants to in college, but if he wants to be in the NFL front office as well.
All right, be 100% honest. Did you think the Packers would be 3-0 to start the season?
I thought maybe we'll be 2-1, but 3-0. To have the Chicago Bears and the Minnesota Vikings up front, in Soldiers Field, on the road, I didn't think it. But
yeah.
we have the talent. Because of the new coaching staff and the way things unfolded during the preseason, a lot of players didn't play. But 3-0 is unbelievable.
And look, they are far from playing their best football.
Right.
I mean, you can look at each game and go, well, they need to work on this, and they got to do better over here. They're not, especially on offense.
The future is bright for the Green Bay Packers. Offensively, we have so much room to grow. And defense, we have an unbelievable defensive unit. The youngest, the best defensive team we've had in over 35, 40 years.
Well, much like the Vikings game, it was a sprint. 5 plays, 75 yards. It ends up with the free play. Nobody in the NFL is better than Aaron Rodgers at taking advantage of the defense when they're offsides. Boom, perfect strike down the middle of the field, quick touchdown.
I tell you what, the start that the Packers had has been unbelievable. Our quarterback is just scratching the surface for his potential.
Yeah, and as far as the running game goes, Aaron Jones has the huge week before, a couple catches out of the backfield, almost 150 yards. He was pedestrian. He did have 2 TD scores, a little short run, I think of 1 yard on each, but Jamal Williams got involved, 12 carries, 59 yards, almost 5 per crack.
Our running game is very, very dynamic with 2 young players, and Jamal Williams and Aaron Jones. I like what we have on the offensive side when it comes to running. And our quarterback is just waiting to burst at the seams.
You know, watching the way the game unfolded, do you think there was a little self-preservation there, knowing you have 2 games back-to-back? They were rotating D linemen. Those 2 split carries almost 50-50, kind of saved the legs, knowing that you got to get ready for the Eagles?
I think it goes back to what I said earlier about the preseason. We haven't had a lot of guys to play a whole lot, so you have to rotate guys and get them going. So it's good to see a lot of players getting a lot of playing time.
And Jamal, does he remind you of somebody? Because it was rainy. It wasn't like the muddy Niners playoff game, but Edgar Bennett in a way, maybe a little more burst to him. A
little bit more burst than Edgar Bennett, but he's a little bit more bigger
than
Edgar Bennett. But I think those guys still run the ball the same way.
All right, what more can you say about the defense at this point? Middle of the road in terms of yardage, but second in points allowed only to New England.
Wow. 6 sacks, 3 turnovers on Sunday. You can't ask for a better performance from the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, they're flying to the football. That is for certain. All right, time for a segment we like to call the good, the bad, and the ugly. Let's start with the good. You mentioned it, Packers pass rush, dropping Joe Flacco 6 times. They rushed him a ton. He threw a pick, forced a fumble. I mean, they're getting to the QB.
We had an excellent defensive coordinator by the name of Fritz Shermer early in the 90s. His goal was to have 3 sacks each and every game, but to have 6, that's extraordinary.
That's pretty awesome. The bad, Green Bay's run defense, over 130 yards per game. Is it an issue?
I don't think so. Not when you have Blake Martinez and Kenny Clark in the middle. Dean Lowry is playing exceptional. It's just a matter of time. But one thing about the Broncos, they shut them down everywhere else.
Yeah.
Their passing game was off, so they went to their running game, but they didn't really get a whole lot.
And the ugly third down conversions, just 2 for 9 last week. You could tell Matt LaFleur was a little ticked off about not getting, first of all, being in bad third down situations, but the conversion rate just has not been good this year.
That's not winning football for us, but that's going to really pick up. And I think having Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback at some point in the offense is going to catch fire.
All right, it is time now for our pivotal performance powered by Wisconsin Potatoes. The Packers' offensive line, 0 sacks given up. Aaron Rodgers said he was hit only 1 time. The big boys up front with our pivotal performance powered by Wisconsin Potatoes. Aaron was very happy Sunday night afterward. He said, I'm going to feel great. He said, he got knocked down 1 time.
He can play 15 more years at this rate.
Come on now, not 15. Let's start with 5, all right?
Yes.
All right, when we come back on Locker Room, like we mentioned, we're calling a little bit of an audible tonight, but it's a good one. Packers quarterback Tim Boyle is in the house. Don't go anywhere.